So I recently made a video about the flaws of the NEL, and I think it's only fair to make a video about the highlights of it now, just to be fair. Although the NEL has its flaws, I believe that the positives definitely outweigh the negatives, and it'll be evident in this video. I'm super hyped for this video, you know? The NEL is debatably one of the best arcs in Blue Lock, and there are so many good moments from character introductions, plot developments, or twists, or literally just hype moments that we expect from our characters. The NEL as a whole just has so many good moments. So I thought I'd make a list ranking the best moments in the NEL so far, and even though it hasn't finished, there are still enough to make a proper video and have a proper debate for it, which is crazy that there are that many hype moments. This list will be a top 10, 10 being my least favorite but still a good moment, and then 1 obviously being my favorite moment. Making this video made me remember all the good things about the NEL or just forgotten hype moments, and it'll probably be the same for you, so make sure to watch all the way to see the rankings. Before we hop into the video though, I want to thank you guys so much for 8,000 subscribers. I think it's incredible that even though Blue Lock isn't airing or that there isn't that much hype around it like before, there's still 8,000 of you supporting me. I'm so grateful and thank you guys so much for that. I also recently started streaming the new chapters of Blue Lock. It'll always be on here around Friday 10 a.m. PST, so join up for the earliest discussion of the newest chapter, or just join the stream to have fun, talk about Blue Lock, or literally anything. You guys can always join the Discord for any notifications on that as well. If you don't know time zones or just want the notification for it, yeah, link's always in the description. Hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's get straight into this video. Alright, so if we're talking about the NEL, we have to mention the return of a huge character, the fallen hero Kunigami Rensuke, and specifically his walkout. Kind of poetic that the first spot on this list is going to take us back to the first moments of this arc, but Kunigami's walkout is in my opinion his best moment. We get that absolute hype return and walkout panel. Just rereading that always makes me hype. Unfortunately, it does suck saying a character's return is his biggest moment and nothing else, but it is pretty hype because we haven't seen him in a long time. It hypes up his physique to be on par with NEL level players, and also just the complete table flip personality we got. So Kunigami coming in at 10. Coming up next, this is a pretty hard decision for me compared to the last one. At the number 9 spot, it was either a choice between Shigiri's 44 Panther Snipe, Noah's goal, or Chris Prince in all of Manshine. But I think the moment that's gonna come out on top is gonna be Noah's goal. I feel like Shigiri's goal is more or less something that we've already seen, and although Chris Prince's performance in the Manshine game was great, from clowning Yukimiya to 1v1ing Kaiser and obviously the knuckle shot, I think Noah's goal was just a better showcase of a master striker and also proof of him being the number 1 striker. Everyone idolizes him, and it was a pretty big question in the community at the time. How good is he compared to everyone else? And yeah, sheesh, he completely cleared any fodder allegations. I think I'm gonna have to remind you how dominant his performance was, because it was on par with Loki versus Blue Lock in terms of shutout. There's about a minute left in the star change system after Lavinia scored his goal, so for the last minute play, Noah speeds to top speed and passes 4 people by himself with the help of some 1-2s. The craziest part of this feat though has to be him beating out a 3-man dog pile, where literally everyone is charging at him, including Lavinia by the way, and then does a mid-air ambidextrous shot to tie the game up. It's literally such a good goal that I think a lot of people overshadow it, which is why I put it on this list, so in my opinion it is one of the best moments in the NEL. And speaking of character introductions, coming in at number 8, it's gonna be Corona Ronse. For the spot, it was a tight debate between Augie, Corona, and Lorenzo. Well, more like Corona and Lorenzo. They both have really good arguments, and personally, in my opinion, I do like Lorenzo more than Corona, but I think Corona has him a little beat when it comes to character introduction. Although Lorenzo is a new Gen 11 with a full backstory, this is actually the first time we're getting a new character from Blue Lock developed, and actually the only time to this point since the 3rd selection. There's also a lot of debate about these characters we haven't seen with these cool designs, or characters that have gotten a lot of focus even though they haven't played, like Nishioka or Kiora Jin. But Corona is the only character up until this point to actually get developed. So seeing a familiar face like that get some development makes everyone happy, especially since his whole character is useful from his weapons to his mentality. Corona's introduction is literally one of my favorites. We also got the debut of Planet Hotline, which is arguably a better duo than any of Isagi's old duos, and that's not an easy feat to say, as you got Bachira, Nagi, and Rin. So I think Corona exceeded a lot of people's expectations, and in my opinion, that makes it one of the best moments in the NEL, since we got a new character developed really well, and someone who can actually compete for a starting spot in the Japan U20. Moving on to number 7 though, it's gonna be the other master striker goal, Lavinia's dance. Now you might be wondering why I put Lavinia at number 7 and Noah at number 9. And that's a good question. Looking back, I don't know why, but I'm just gonna leave it here because it is a really sick goal. I think everyone's seen this panel by now, even if you don't read Blue Lock. I I think what really makes this goal cool is it's literally the first introduction of what a Master Striker can do. Granted, Noel Noah comes one chapter after, but you get the point. I mean, come on. From his dialogue to his dribbling skills and of course that heinous goal celebration, it just makes him a lovable character from the few chapters we got from him. Number 6, another Bartra goal. It's going to be Bachira's B-Shot. I actually really like this goal from Bachira since it has a lot of things in it and not just the goal itself. From his character development, learning from Lavinho, changing his dribbling, and then of course Bachira just being Bachira and soloing the team, it has a lot of reasons to go up here. I think the character development is the best part of this though. Actually having a good reason for his change and improvement, going back to his roots with the monster and implementing Ginga into it. It absolutely gives Bachira the things he lacked before, which is a slower, more methodical way of approaching 1v1s and dribbling. Alright, we're at the halfway mark, and this is where we start to heat things up, like the tippity top moments of the NEL. Number 5 is going to be Isagi going demon mode. I had to put this there. Isagi during Munchen was just different and was totally expected to be put on this list. I would have put a singular moment like I did for the others, but Isagi is the main character, so he's a little different. Just the culmination of all the things he did during Munchen though, like saying Ryo and Nagi are a fluke, crushing Yukimiya's dream, and then clowning Kaiser. God, man, it was just beautiful. Not only did he bark all that trash at them, he backed it up with full evidence. I'm talking about a zip file with documents and everything. Using Metavision to counter Nagi and Ryo on multiple occasions, and then the confrontation with Yukimiya just saying, I'm gonna crush your dreams along with you, and then letting him feel that moment before eventually helping him. But the highlight of this has to be Isagi and Kaiser. They're damn near kissing, but this panel is literally one of my favorite panels in all of the manga. The context of it, from their rivalry to Isagi learning Metavision and outplaying Kaiser, to just the sheer dialogue. Blue Lock is always on point with their demon time dialogue. That's it for number 5, and coming in at number 4, this is the most popular one. I think it's on everyone's list when you talk about a top 10 of anything. Top 10 Blue Lock moments, top 10 goals, top 10 Fortnite YouTubers. Of course, the goal I'm talking about is Nagi's 5-shot fake volley, a staple of the NEL. Reuniting with his old duo to bring back one of the best combos in Blue Lock, the 5-shot fake volley was made possible because of both Ryo and Nagi being in the flow state against an awakened Metavision Isagi. Ryo using the Sai copy mode, and then Nagi following that up with behind the back trapping passes, and then Bastard Munin just freaking out about what to do. That was pretty funny. I feel like I overlooked it when reading it originally. But Nagi in the flow state is just crazy. You never expect someone as lazy as him to get so fired up to do something like this, and that's why he's able to pull off this insane shot that not even 2 Metavision users can counter. Also have to include his goal celebration. Like, this just sends chills down my spine. This goal is something you'd never see in real life, so it's pretty cool to see it here. Number 3 is going to be Metavision, the discovery of it, and its usage. I guess number 3 is just Metavision in general, but you guys 100% understand why it's in the top 3. I think Metavision is genuinely what put Isagi from a low A tier, maybe even a B tier character, all the way up to an S tier character just off that alone. And the way he developed it as well is just a classic Isagi play, like analyzing who he wants to devour, learning what they do best, and then implementing his own play into it. It's a crazy ability that's able to work both offensively and defensively by moving his head around and processing all that information. You're inputting all that information in a very fast-paced game, finding the winning combination. Like, genuinely, I can look to my right and I won't even remember what was there. And just the build up to it, man, to the name and the execution, everything was just beautiful. And that discovery is what led to Isagi clowning Kaiser and Yukimiya, stuff like that. No doubt about it, Metavision upped Isagi's game by so much, and I can't wait to see what he has next in store. Top moment in the NEL for sure. Finally, the top 2. You could probably expect or predict them because I haven't mentioned them yet, and they're like crucial NEL moments. And to be honest, I think the top 3 are super swappable. It's always like that for my top 10s, and I'm always moving it around before making a final decision. So there isn't really any specific reason for 1 being 1 and 3 being 3. But coming in at number 2, it's going to be the King scoring 2 goals with Predator's Eye. This had to have been in the top 3. I mean, it's probably the best feat we've seen in the arc so far, besides him scoring a hat trick off screen. Not even Kaiser has scored 2 goals in an NEL match so far. So for Barou to score a hat trick and then the next game 2 goals against Bastard Munin, it's crazy. I was really hyped for Barou going into the Ubers match because we had the reveal of the 100 million and then the hat trick, and I think he has been delivering. Him developing Predator's Eye as well gives him exactly what he needed, a few more mix-ups, and that's what's good for Barou's character. I think those mix-ups and stuff just help him become more of an unpredictable Joker, and it's super in line with his character. Predator's Eye and just Barou in general coming in at number 2. Alright, the last spot, number 1. I know I'm gonna get called a glazer, but it's gonna be Kaiser Impact. Kaiser Impact for me has to be the #1 spot. I think out of all the abilities besides Metavision, this is one of the more important ones, but also hype at that. Metavision is hype, but when you see Kaiser shooting with Kaiser Impact, it's just insane, man, especially because it shows how big of a threat he is. We see why he's new Gen 11 level after shooting it, and why Isagi sees him as a rival or just the embodiment of his ideal movements. And to use Kaiser Impact efficiently, he has Metavision and him just having off-the-ball movements and just being good. Like saying he's gonna execute them with that look in his eye, it's so hype. I'm cheesing literally thinking about it. But then he pulls it off with Kaiser Impact and that celebratory bow. And it's not just the first Kaiser Impact. Every game so far has been super hype for him, like shooting through all of Manshine or off a bicycle kick. It's like Isagi says he's a game changer. I think everyone's reaction when we first saw Kaiser Impact is that this guy is just crazy. He could talk all that trash and back it up even more. And that first goal alone shot up to everyone's top 5 goals in Blue Lock, and it is a top 5 goal in Blue Lock. So I personally think the #1 highlight of the NEL is Kaiser and Kaiser Impact. That's about it for the top 10 though. Like I said before, there are some good moments that get cut out that are still really good moments. The NEL has so much highlights that I can't cover it all, and I'm super excited to see what comes next in the PXG game and everything else. If I had to make some honorable mentions though, I think Prince's pathetic moment, Nico using Metavision, and Lorenzo being that guy, I would probably add on to as well. But let me know if I missed anyone or anything, or if you guys would change the rankings anywhere, put 1 at 10 or put 10 at 1. My name's Hiryo. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end, and I'll see you guys in the next one.